forgive? Why is there a son who had to die before you can say, okay, I forgive? So I thought it was illogical. I still think Christianity is a nice religion. Only I didn't believe the truth with a capital T. It wasn't there for me anymore. And strangely enough, when I was writing the book, I got Islamic answers to Christian questions. And yeah, that was a point for me that I thought, yeah, it gave me a lot of rest, and my heart and my head resonated, and that's something that I didn't have before. So when I felt that, and of course you believe it, yeah, that made me in the end deciding to become a Muslim, and that's what I did, and I still am, and I'm very happy. That's in short the story. So. I think, yeah, no, I don't know what the program is. Do you want to ask question people in the?
Let's give him a round of applause for that. That was really touching. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So we're going to do Q&A now, and we'll start with the sisters, and we'll ping pong back and forth with the brothers. So first for the sisters, inshallah, there's a mic going around, and Brother My Voice will come to you. Just raise your hand if you have a question, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. And it looks like we'll go to Sister Shazia first.
Maybe you can take this one. This one.
Assalamu alaikum. So I guess what I wanted to ask you was, I personally am a revert to Islam as well. And I come from a household, my parents don't know I'm Muslim. My parents are both very Islamophobic. I think my dad is sort of probably similar to the man you once were. Still love him, you know, just it's not something I can talk about right now as my religion. So I guess my question to you would be, what advice would you give to someone, to your old self maybe? And yeah, I guess I'd be interested to hear that.
Well, thank you for the question. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, it's a good question. What kind of advice do you give to yourself or your father or mother maybe? Yeah, I think that one of the most important things when it comes to Islam is education, and making people see that Islam is not what you see at the news or the things you always hear. And I think in America, I don't know America, of course, because I don't live here, but I think in America there is a certain bias that we all also have in Europe, because a lot of Europeans in the past went from Europe to America, of course. So the historical aversion some people have against Islam because of the clashes there have been are also maybe in the American culture, and especially after 9/11, of course, and bombings and terrorism, etc. But at the other hand, it's not like we think of Christianity when we look at the KKK, for example. It's a Christian organization, but it's not that most of the people don't see the KKK as a Christian organization, but they claim they were or still are. I don't know if they still exist. But when it comes to Islam, people do. They say, okay, we see, for example, ISIS, and that's Islam. And all other Muslims are not real Muslims, or they're pretending to be very democratic or law-abiding, etc. Sorry. But it is a fact that Islam is something else. And my story, I wrote a book about it. And I think in the Netherlands, I think it's very important that people read my journey, because most of the arguments people use against Islam are pointed out in the book, and there's a explanation why it doesn't, why it isn't correct. And the book is being translated into English. Is maybe if it is, if they publish it, and I think in a month or 3, you can give it to your father. I'll send it to you, and I'll write something for him in the book. And maybe that opens the door, and it would be nice, of course, if he became Muslim. But if he doesn't, at least he understands better what Islam is and what's probably motivates you to become Muslim.
Does this work? Thank you for your presentation. It was very insightful. The question that I have, first of all, I've been to Holland, great country and very nice people. The question that I have is, have you thought about going back to politics and maybe spreading what you've learned and essentially sharing with people and changing their view of the typical stereotype image of a Muslim? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, I didn't think of politics, and I still don't think of politics too much. Of course, you follow politics, but I have no desire to go back. I've been in politics for 12 years, in you call it here the Senate, and if you are in politics, you have to have certain ideological motivations, and I think a little bit or arrogance or naive, being a little bit naive. So if you have to believe that you can change the world, and I hope, of course, that we can change the world as a community. But I have no longer the illusion that the political party can change the system. But I think in the end, it's not a political thing. It's something of the people. And if people see that Islam is a positive force, and that you contribute to a country, that you contribute to your own community, but also to other communities, that the view of people will change. If I can change, and you don't know me, of course, but I was really anti-Islam. So if somebody then told me, well, in about 5 years you will be a Muslim and you're sitting in the United States of America talking about your conversion to Islam, I thought he was crazy. But it did happen. So I think in the end it's something that that has to come out of the people itself, non-Muslims I'm talking about. And I think that a lot of Muslims, especially in Europe, because I think it's a little bit different here, also have to look at themselves and see why is it that people are always so negative. Because in the Netherlands there are a lot of Muslim youngsters, youth, who are making a lot of troubles. And when they are making trouble, sometimes they shout Allahu Akbar. So non-Muslims associate Islam as a religion because they hear something with Allah, and they see youngsters, for example, throwing in a window with a stone or whatever. So the association is always violence, Islam. And of course they see the news, they see terrorism, they hear people like my old me telling on television, well, this is wrong, they are don't, blah, blah, blah. So the combination makes it very hard for non-Muslims to see Islam in a positive way. And I